Hello, Walking Dead fans. How are you guys? Watched the season 2 premiere of Daryl Dixon, season 2, episode 1, The Book of Carol. Great episode premiere. It showed Daryl, what happened to him, why he did not leave in the season 1 finale to go back to Alexandria. And it showed Carol's journey from Alexandria up to a certain point. Let's get into it. Daryl found out why he did not get on the fisherman boat. He does not want to leave the refugees at the castle that's surrounded by water until the rest of the soldiers are taken out. Destroyed, taken out, completely gone. He also wants Lorette, the worm he loves, and some of the refugees he's grown close to, like the old man and stuff, to go with him back to Alexandria. He's not known that Rick and Michonne has returned to Alexandria, the Commonwealth, last year on their spinoff series, because he went out looking for them, right? He's had no contact, no radio contact. So he's been training these refugees on how to fight. The leader of the refugees who meet him doesn't like Daryl's training methods because it's different than how he's been training people. He said he mentioned this, remember in season 1, folks, this person's washed up on shore on a boat and trained the nuns and these people how to fight, right? Well, this person trained these guys at this refugee shelter, castle place, how to fight with a quarterstaff made of wood. Who in the Walking Dead franchise uses that as a weapon? Morgan, right? So I'm thinking Morgan may have been the one that showed up here and trained these people how to fight. Because the way these guys are using the quarterstaff as weapons and that's kind of the same way Morgan learned. Unless it's one of the people that taught Morgan, right? But I'm thinking Morgan's the one that's been to Paris, France, because on the Fear of the Walking Dead, he left to go away to Alexandria and that. He was in Texas, so he would have traveled a long way, right? He might end up in France somehow. Maybe he was the one that was on the boat that capsized and he swam on shore there. Let me know below in the comments. Do you think it's Morgan now? That's the mystery stranger they keep referring to that's trained these people how to fight. So anyways, the leader and Daryl get into a heated argument about how to train people when suddenly this team of scouts called the Mantis team show up and the 3 members short. Apparently they're out scouting for supplies and stuff and scouting to see if the soldiers know where they're at. And 3 of them got captured by the rebel soldiers. So the leader tells them, look, it's nothing we can do. And Daryl's like, seriously? They're like members of your group of survivors. He says, look, I'm more of a defensive person. I don't go on the offense. And Daryl says, well, it's a good thing you got me here then. And then so he leads the Mantis team out. They hijack the convoy. They take it off the road. They shoot at it with the soldiers inside. They take out all the soldiers except for one. They even had a bomb with tripwire, but the Jeep drove over it and the bomb never went off. So when they finally got all done with the heat of shuffle there, Daryl took out 3 soldiers. A guy on the rooftop that was like a sniper for the Mantis team of scouts took out a soldier. One of the soldiers took out one of Daryl's group. And there's one soldier left, and she's a female. Daryl goes to finish her off, and the bomb that's supposed to go off actually goes off now. So everybody gets up from the explosion. The kind of like knocks silly, right? Nobody see what you heard, but she got away. So now Daryl, after they rescue the other 3 soldiers, Daryl asks us 2 questions. One, did you guys say anything about where the location of where we're at? That's in the castle, surrounded by water, on the island there in Paris. And 2, we gotta find her, because if she follows our tracks back, she's gonna know where we're staying at. And that's it for Daryl's journey. That's all the show. Except a little sneak peek of Lorette, the kid that's so special. I think I finally cracked the puzzle of why he's so special. If you watched the season 1 finale last year, we find out that when he was born, his mother had died, given childbirth, because she was bitten by a walker. So she had died and came back as a walker, but they still were able to save him. So I think that his blood or something, I think is like immunity to the virus and that. Because if you think about also season 1, the walkers, when they surround people, they walk right by him. They don't consider him a threat whatsoever unless he makes a sudden move. So I'm thinking that they smell kind of like the walker scent on him. and that. So I think that's why he's so special, because he's immune to the virus and that. Well, the leader of the refugee camp tells him that you're not leaving to go to Alexandria Daryl and that. You're staying put because you're destined to do great things here. Apparently some kind of prophecy or something they believe in. Now, Carol's journey. She leaves Alexandria. She's packed up some supplies. She gets in the vehicle. She says goodbye to like Judith, Ezekiel, Eugene, his woman, their kid. Yes, Eugene's a father now. Oh my God. Wow, I'm shocked about that. And she promises she'll find Daryl. She leaves. At this point in time, we don't know if the people that she was referred to that came back is Rick and Michonne, because it doesn't show them, right? So we don't know if they're the ones that came back. There's still talks online that it's Negan back as a heel, because when he went with Maggie to New York City, he found some other saviors, and he's come back to kick some ass again and turn bad. Or now people are saying that it's Rick and Michonne. If it is Rick and Michonne that return, they got helicopters now with the soldiers. The Commonwealth's got a freaking train. They can help search for Daryl, right? So I don't think it's Rick and Michonne that's back. I think it's somebody else, like Negan. So Carol leaves. She's traveling like miles. It shows like months later she's still traveling because she don't know where Daryl is, right? She finds a guy driving Daryl's motorbike. She follows him, takes him out, puts him in a hostage in the trunk of the car, and he tells her about the truck stop. So she gets on Daryl's bike and drives to the truck stop. She pretends the transmission of the bike is messed up, it's not working right. And they say, look, where'd you get that bike? So Mick had it, the truck driver. So, your Mick's worn him. So apparently Mick has worn him. So she said, yeah, Mick's lady, yeah. So they go, oh, damn, well, how's Mick these days? Oh, Mick's doing great, right? She's laughing about that. Then she sees one of these truck drivers walk by with Daryl's crossbow. So she now is like, okay, Daryl has been here, right? She grabs that crossbow, smacks it in the face of that truck driver, breaks his nose, he curses at her. Our truck driver shoots the tire of the motorbike because he was aiming for Carol. Pissy poor aim there. She fires back with an arrow right in the foot. And the last truck driver, she tells him, hey, don't try anything. Then he tried something and she smoked him in the face as well. She holds the three truck drivers hostage. She says, where is my friend Dixon? Like, oh, you're after Daryl. Yeah, well, he's in France. It's like, how the hell did he get to France? Now, you messing with me? And they said, nope. He came here a year ago, so it's been a year gap here now. We figured that out. And they got into trouble with our truck driver. And these people from France pay us big money. No, well, not money. They pay us with supplies. In return, we hustle up some walkers and some humans, and we ship them on this freighter on an 18-wheeler to this boatyard graveyard. A freighter ship picks them up, and we don't know what to do with them. Well, we know there was rebel soldiers of France used the people and the walkers to experiment on them. That's how they make the acid walkers, the walkers that are smart, and they know how to open and unlock doors and stuff, how to open windows now, and stuff we probably don't even know about yet. They experiment on, right? So she asked where the graveyard boat dock is, and they said it's a few miles up the road after you take a few turns. And she says, if you're lying, I'll be back. They're like, no, we ain't lying. We don't want no beef with you. But just to let you know, they haven't been back. She's what he means. They're always on a routine schedule. It's been a few months. Because they don't know that last season, Daryl and the survivors on the freighter ship got free. Daryl's the only one that made it overboard, and the ship blew up. So that's why that freighter ship hasn't been back. But they don't know that, right? So Carol finds the boatyard graveyard. It's capsized boats. Boats washed up on shore. Some boats got bolt holes in it. Some's got rusted holes through them. So there's no freighter ship. So she's like, great, now what? And then all of a sudden, as she's driving back, she sees an airplane fly overhead. So she follows that airplane, but she loses focus on the road, drifts out of control, smacks into a walker, hits a drive-through, like a drive-through sign. Not a drive-through, a drive-in sign to like a movie theater place. Then she gets on foot with the crossbow. She finds the place where the airplane landed. It's kind of like a house and kind of like an airport thing on a hill. surrounded by water and stuff. And it's got a security fence around it. She sneaks in. She gets captured by the guy that's staying there called Ash. He lets her stay because she tells him, I've been looking for people and that. And, it's just me. I just seen you on the plane and stuff. And it's been a while since I've met anybody. She kind of lied about that because she met the truck drivers like a few days ago. And he lets her stay in the barn. He even feeds her some food. And then he tells her, okay, the next day you can go. But she doesn't want to go. She wants to stay and try to get him to fly her to France, right? That's her game plan. So she notices that every day he goes to this greenhouse that he has locked, and he goes in there. So she waits, and Ash tells her that he just flies around. He doesn't go nowhere special. He just flies around. Just, something to do, like a hobby he has. So he leaves on the airplane to do basically a flyby around the place. So as he goes, she breaks into the greenhouse because the generator runs out of gas. And instead of put more gas in it, when it ran out of gas, the electronic keypad of the greenhouse opened up. She goes in the greenhouse. It's a shrine with a bunch of toy airplanes, craft airplanes, and pictures of a kid and a music box. Then suddenly she doesn't realize that the outer gate is also open now because the generator ran out of gas. And walkers that were attracted by the noise of the airplane keep showing up, Ash tells her. So, like a dozen walkers get into the compound. They attack Carol in the greenhouse. She ends up fending them off, and she ends up taking these shelves of flowers and plants and closing them like this and climbs up on top, breaks through the glass ceiling. She gets out of the greenhouse, and Ash is back, and he's just cursing at her because she's in the greenhouse, and he told her never to go in there. Him and her take out the dozen walkers easily, and then she asks about the shrine and the grave. He said, that's my son, Appa. He loved airplanes, and he said, one day I wasn't paying attention, and a walker got him. I guess it was a walker. He said, I wasn't paying attention, and he died. So I assume it was a walker that got him. He really never specified. So he says, so I've been feeling bad because it's my fault, and that's why I also fly airplanes, kind of like in honor of his son and that. So she apologized for sneaking into the greenhouse and that. She buries the walkers, gets rid of them, throws some overboard off the yard in there, down the embankment and stuff. And she says, so the only way the walkers can is stopping them from getting in here is that electronic gate you got around. He says, yes. She's like, well, like every time you fly by, the noise attracts him. He says, I know, but I always have the generator going. He said, it just ran out of gas when I was flying. So he tells Carol she can stay for as long as she wants. Carol, as they're having supper at the kitchen table one night, tells him, hey, Ash, I got family. And she lies again, right? And he says, oh, so I got a daughter named Sophia and a husband named Ed. I'm like, no, you don't. They died in like season 1 and season 2 there. And Carol has flashbacks because when she sees the barn, and when he locks in the barn the first night, I forgot to mention that she has a flashback of Sophia coming out of the barn as a walker from season 2. And she also sees the white rose, the Cherokee rose, that Daryl gave her in season 2 as well. So that was a cool flashback moment as well. Easter egg there, I noticed. She tells him that when the Walker apocalypse started, she don't know if her husband Daryl's alive in France. That's where she's going. She ain't saying she's going for her friend Daryl Dixon. She's lying, noosing what happened to him and his son, his symphony and that, to her advantage. That's Carol, man. So he falls for it, agrees to fly her to France to see if her family's alive at least. And he says, my son will want me to do that. So they load up a bunch of oil drums and that in the cargo plane. It's a small plane. For fuel. Suddenly, a thunderstorm hits. And a bolt of lightning hits the generator, blows it up. And that means the gate opens up, right? A ton of walkers come in the compound. They take off on the airplane. They're flying. They almost get hit by a bolt of lightning, but he swerves and misses it at the same time. And that's how the episode ends. Carol is going to France, baby. She's got this guy Ash helping her find Daryl Daryl, even though he's thinking he's helping her find her husband and daughter. And so we now know Daryl wants to go back, but he wants to go with some of the people, and he doesn't want to leave them fighting for their lives against the rebel soldiers, because that's Daryl, right? He's loyal like that. So I cannot wait to see how long it takes Carol to find Daryl. And it shows episodes coming up of the whole season. It shows Carol and Ash meet two other survivors, and they journey to France, and it shows like them running through a tunnel with walkers chasing them. There's one scene I find funny where Ash like, hey, you know what? This journey's been pretty easy. And then something knocks him back. I don't know what it is. It looks like a flare gun or something. The Carol just looks at him because it's just kind of funny how he said that, and then wham, he's sent flying backwards. And then it shows Daryl with the refugees. He's still arguing with the leader. The leader's preparing Lorette for this prophecy training journey fame. And Daryl's trying to convince the woman he loves now and that. And the other refugees go with him to Alexandria. Commonwealth is a lot safer. And he's trying to persuade people. And you see the new leader of the refugees not liking that Daryl's persuading more people to go with him, right? And he, at one point, it shows him, he tells Daryl, you're leaving. We don't want you here no more. Then it shows Daryl standing by a tree somewhere, and you can see an outline of someone walking, and she says his name. So I'm hoping that's Carol, and they finally meet up this season. Because they already been renewed for season 3, even before season 2 premiered. So if Carol doesn't show up this season, they drag it on for one other season, that's not going to be good. They got to wrap this up. Like Rick Michonne was 1 season. Negan and Maggie's going to be 2 seasons. So I can see Daryl and Carol's show being 3 seasons, right? And finally wrap this whole thing up. There you have it, folks. Let me know below what you thought of the season 2 premiere of Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol, episode 1. Do you agree with me that it's Morgan Jones that's training these people because of how they're fighting with the staff? Or it's somebody that knew how to train, like, Morgan was trained by a guy that knew how to fight with a staff. So maybe it's one of those type of people. Guys, he also said, I forget his name, way back in the Walking Dead series. He told Jones that a group of people trained Jeddah how to fight with a wooden staff and that. So maybe it's one of those people. But I'm hoping it's Morgan Jones. Because Morgan's badass. He's always been a badass character. And he's been traveling out to find Rick, Daryl, Carol, all the others to return home to Alexandria. He doesn't know about the Commonwealth. Because he went on the Fear the Walking Dead spinoff to wrap up there. So it'd be cool if it's him. Because him and Daryl have a history as well as a good friendship. There you have it, folks. I cannot wait for episode 2. Only thing it tells me online is Carol and Ash's journey to France continues, and Daryl finds something unexpected at a location of army base. So maybe it's some kind of new breed of walker, right? We don't know. I cannot wait. Yeah, folks. Stay safe, everybody. Too sweet. Bye.